Hi, everybody. Anthony here. Listen, I'm so excited, today to be with you. I first want to start, why am I doing these YouTube videos? Well, I've been traveling the U.S. I've been traveling, country to country the last couple years here. And, I got to say thanks for all of you guys reaching out on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. We've got over almost 500,000 followers now on Twitter. We're closing in on 23,000 plus on Instagram, and my Facebook blew up the first 48 hours, and I constantly am getting questions. Can you help me? Hey, what can I do to have you mentor me? And things like that. And here's the first thing I got to say: thank you for reaching out, because there's literally thousands of people asking me questions. My staff can't even keep up helping me respond. So the best way to really help everybody in the entire industry is just doing my YouTube videos, giving back to you guys all the things that my mentor over the last 22 years has given me. Now, there's been several mentors that I've been given, okay, or that I've had an opportunity to work with. The first one, obviously, you guys know, Mark Hughes, president and founder of Herbalife International. We lost Mark back in 2000, but just one of the most dynamic individuals, the biggest giver, the biggest, thinker I think I've ever seen. And that's where I've gotten a lot of my vision from, is Mark Hughes. Secondly, Larry Thompson was one of the best network marketers of all times back when he was actually engaged. Now he's been retired for 20-some years. And then, of course, the most famous guy in the business, Jim Rohn, who's passed. Rest in peace, Jim. He's just given me so much. Thank God I was there in the 90s when we had Jim just, to ourselves, and traveling with him and, going around the world. And then, of course, one of my other mentors, Mark Doyle, who was personally trained by those guys. So what I'm going to do with you guys is I'm going to really come through and week by week, we are going to work on different topics, to help you grow your business. And we've done momentum. And one of the things I want to do is I want to do momentum part 2 today, because momentum is the biggest thing you've got to create when you're building this business. I talked about my numbers on momentum video 1, and I'm going to talk about some more things regarding momentum, today. So the first thing I want to just kind of reiterate is, as we talked about, is knowing your numbers, right? How many invites is it taking you to get someone to show up to the meeting? And of course, whoever's doing the meetings got the sign-up ratio. But then really what you got to do is, when you start building momentum, one of the things you've really got to get down is you've got to then train the back end of your business. See, there's a few different parts. You want to write this down. Part number 1 is called prospecting. Okay, that's what we talked about in momentum video 1. And so, that's an art of its own. And many people I've seen get stuck in prospecting and not get out of it, because they don't know how to do the second part, which is called developing. Okay? So prospecting is the first part you got to get down. So you got to get down invitation to the presentation, presentation to the close. You got to get that down. Okay? And remember, we talked about, don't hope you get one hot person, because the hot person's not going to really teach you anything. If you get a hot person that goes crazy, right? I've seen it. I've seen it in the company I'm in right now. Someone's making 60 to 100 grand a month, and they're traveling all over the world. They think they're the big star, and they have 3 or 4 people underneath them that boosted them up. And people don't even realize they don't even have a skill set. Jim Rohn said, isn't it sad, the person that is traveling the world telling a story that's really not a story? They're telling a story of other people who've pushed them up. So if you're that person that's hoping for a check, don't hope for a check. It's like hoping for the lottery ticket. If you get the money, act as though you didn't get the money. You got to go through the grind to get the skill set. And I'm going to say this with all due respect, because I love everyone in the industry. There's not many people like me who signed up, and I don't have to put my numbers next to anybody in this industry. I have signed up hundreds and thousands of people personally, so I know what it's like to be in the know. I know what it's like to get the invitation to the presentation down, the presentation to the close to then the back end, which we're going to talk about today. So, point being is, don't wish for the easy way out. If you get the person that goes, ride, take the money, put it in the bank, but don't be the person that says, hey, look at me, I'm now rank advancing like crazy, and people ask you how you do it, and you say, oh, I'm just, doing meetings and all this nonsense. You got to get away from that, and you got to go back to the basics and look at your numbers, okay? So the first thing is capture momentum from your prospecting. People say, well, how long do I prospect? Until you have enough leaders, okay? Until you've got enough leaders. And that's what I'm going to talk about today, okay? So write that down. You prospect until you have enough leaders. Now, that's all relevant to how much income you want to make. See, for me, I don't need 3 leaders on my right and 3 leaders on my left, right? Because I don't want to make 20 grand a month. I want to make $1 million a month, okay, plus. So in order for me to make $1 million a month plus, how many personally enrolled do I've got to get over the years to hit that number? Because then you're going to go second, third, fourth, fifth tier down, right? So you've got to understand, people go, how much income, how much money, how many leaders and all that stuff. It really comes back to what kind of income do you want out of the business, okay? First step is get the prospecting down. Now the second step is this. Once you've mastered the prospecting, right? Now what you got to do, and you go, listen, I've got the invitation down to right here on my numbers, okay? I talk to 3 people, 1 guy shows up at the meeting. I get 5 people at the meeting, I get 2 signups. You get that down, right? It's like clockwork. You see 90 days of history. Not 1 week, 90 days. 90 days gives you history where you can go, look, must be, I talk to 3, I get 1 to show up, right? If I get 5 to show up, I get 2 to sign up or 3 to sign up. You get that down? Now you can start doing the back end, which is called developing. So what do? Here's what you do if you really want to get your check to stick. And this is a big one. Okay, remember, furthering momentum, right? The big one is you get a Skype, you get an Oovo, Google Hangout, and you get your 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 20 people on, and you teach people, okay, in groups, write this down, in groups, you teach people how to do the little various things. So maybe the first group over here, from 8 to 8:30, you work with the group that you're teaching how to invite, okay? So this group, you're going to sit there and you're going to pitch them, right? And then you're going to flip it. You're going to have each person teach you how to invite. And you go, you know what? Hey, good job. You got the first part down. The second part you don't have down. And because you're going to get this down now. Here's how you sound, and here's how you need to sound. Okay? Go try it again. Just like a football. It's just like basketball camp. You know, your coach goes, go. You go, no, come here, son. Come here, daughter. Here's what you got to do. When you went down, you went left. You got to go right. Okay? Try it again. Same thing when you're getting people to learn invites. Hey, do it again, do it again, do it again, do it again. And you know what's going to happen? You develop that group how to invite. Now you're going to get your little crew inviting the right way. Okay? And then once you get that crew inviting the right way, then guess what? You have them become the person that introduces at the meeting. Right? They invite, now they introduce. Now, here's what you do. You delegate. Whoever the best inviter is that follows you the best is now responsible to teach the team how to invite. See what I'm saying? Now you can be in a couple different spots. So now you've got your invite trainer. Now you're working on the actual introduction in the meeting. See, you're doing a mock meeting. You're teaching your crew exactly how to do it. I'm telling you, you get this thing fine-tuned, you're going to get a check that just absolutely soars. Okay? I mean, just completely, no question about it, scores. Now, maybe from 8:30 to 9, you're working on your invitation group, right? I mean, excuse me, your introduction group. So the people that open up the meetings. And then from 9 to 9:30, maybe you've got your group you're working with, right? That's doing the meetings. So you have your invite, your introduction, and then you have your closers, right? Your strong closers that come up, know how to edify, paint the picture, and close the meeting. Now what's going to happen is you're going to get people in different, growing and growing. Now you've got someone that can help you teach invitations, and every time you get a new crew that's getting it, you basically move somebody up to becoming the inviter trainer. Then you get someone to become the trainer for the introduction. Then you get the trainer for the what? Right? Lastly, for the meeting and the close. And you watch like a hawk. Now here's the last thing you do. Once you get this little machine going, now you start working on the multiples, right? So each meeting knows, hey, we got 5 people feeding into this meeting. Each person's got to have X number of butts in the seats. Period. You want to come play the game? You want to get rich? Listen, you're going to come play with me? We don't want you to come over here and fill the seat. We want you to bring 5 guests, okay? We're not playing around with little dinky numbers here. We're talking about getting rich. So what you got to do is how many people you committed to bring at every single meeting, okay? Or if you're doing online meetings like an ooVoo or, a Google Hangout, how many are you going to, for sure, no question about it, can we count on you to bring to this Google Hangout? It's the same thing. You get on, you do the meeting, you close, boom, you follow up after the phone call. It's a no question about it, no brainer, right? Same thing. Home meeting, online meeting, same exact thing. Same principles, right? And then, guess what? When the meeting's over, now you've got your post-meeting training that you do, right? So you get the people that have signed up together and you do your post-meeting training. So now you've got yourself doing this. Now you've got your crew starting to grow. Now you don't have spaghetti being thrown against the wall. And I'm noticing this in the company I currently am. We got a lot of good people working their brains out. But as fast as they're bringing them in is as fast as they're losing them. Because they're not doing the back-end training. They're not teach to teach, as Mark Hughes taught me. You got to teach to teach, right? You got to get this down. Now what's going to happen is you're going to have this big group going where now leaders are going to have their own training mechanisms going. They're going to have their own crews teaching how to invite, their own crews teaching how to do the introduction, their own crews teaching how to do the actual close, and then the post-meeting. There's 4 little post-trainings. Maybe you do it three nights a week. I don't know what you want to do. But then after a while, what's going to happen is you're just going to speak to your leaders because you're going to have this going all over the world. And what's going to happen is this, okay? Maybe on an ooVoo, you got 20 people, right? You got Germany over here. You got, I don't know, Italy. You got your England. You got all throughout like 5 different states. And you're talking to your leaders about how they're holding this accountable to their local areas. Now we're talking about building checks. Because at the end of the day, what you want to calculate is how many presentations a day, a week, and a month your organization is producing. Okay? That's what you really want to get down. See, I know every day how many presentations my team has. Every day. I know every week what the number is. And every month. I'm in complete control how fast or slow we grow. Now, I slowed my business down the last 12 months. People, why would you slow your business down? Because I'm learning a new marketing plan. I'm not going to go throw a whole bunch of mud against the wall and see what sticks. And this is the thing. They didn't call me the millionaire maker because I'm just going to see what happens. Listen, I may not be winning the race right now, but I guarantee you I'm going to finish it first, okay? So this is what you got to understand. The pace of the pack is based on the leader. If you're the leader, you got to form as a leader. It's okay? So the end all is this. What you need to do is build this momentum so you really understand how many presentations per day, per week, and per month you need in order to hit that next rank advancement. Now guys, the end of the day, what are you creating? We're going to talk about this on the next video I do called Building Consumers. Till then, guys, listen, watch this video as many times as it takes so you can get your check going. I hope you got this because, listen, there's one thing to get momentum. It's a whole different level furthering it. So keep it going. Don't take your foot off the gas. Sometimes it's the hardest thing you can possibly do. When you're winning, you got a check going, and you're like, oh, I can sit down now. Don't sit down. Or when you think you're building, you're just going crazy. Maybe you are doing this. You're going, I'm doing that AP. I'm signing up 5 people a week, and I'm not seeing anything. Keep going. Right around the corner, success. I promise you, okay? So, guys, take care. Listen, think big. Make sure you're on my Instagram at Anthony Powell, the number 1. Okay? Twitter, Anthony Powell 1. And the Anthony Powell on Facebook. Guys, we'll talk to you later. Keep posted. I'm going to do about 2 or 3 videos a week. God bless you and bye for now.